Your Honor, the state calls Dr. Stafford to the stand.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so that the jurors can hear and the court reporter can hear. If you'll state your name for the record and spell your last name, please.
Sarah Alice Stafford, Stafford.
State.
Thank you, Judge. Miss Dr. Stafford, how are you employed?
I am a pediatrician with Northeast Pediatric Associates in San Antonio.
Okay, and how long have you been a pediatrician?
I finished my residency in 2013.
Okay, just a little bit of your background. Where did you go to medical school?
I went to medical school at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston.
Okay, and what year did you graduate from med school?
2010.
2010. Did you go into a residency?
I did here in San Antonio at the University of Texas Health Science Center.
And just so the jury is familiar, I'm not sure if everybody is familiar with the process of becoming a medical doctor, but med school, in order to become a doctor, you go to undergrad
Mhm.
to get your undergraduate degree, and that's 4 years.
Yes.
And then after that, then you go where?
So it's 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, and then depending on what you specialize in, there's a residency program.
Okay, and the residency program that you specialized in would be pediatrics?
Yes.
And how long is that residency program?
3 years for it to be a general pediatrician, which is what I do.
Got it. Did you continue any subspecialties?
No, I'm just a general pediatrician.
So that means that 2013 you finished and became a
General outpatient pediatrician.
got it. And how long have you been working for the pediatrics practice that you're currently working at?
It's been my one and only job.
Remind me again of the name, Northwest?
Northeast
North-
Pediatric Associates.
Okay. So you've been practicing for about 10 years,
11.
11 years. Okay. So as a general pediatrician, what sort of patients do you see?
We start with newborns and we see them through high school graduation for both wellness and sick visits.
Wellness and sick visits. Sick visits, what kind of sick visits do you normally see?
From cough, colds, broken bones, depression, anxiety.
Okay.
Sort of any type of illness.
Do you have a patient under the name of Arabella Roberts?
I do.
Okay. And how long have you been her pediatrician?
I met her the day she was born.
Okay. And do you remember Arabella? How long have you been practicing when she was first born?
Not very long.
So she was one of your first
It
patients.
was my first time.
So you would say she's very memorable one.
Yes.
Okay.
I was just starting out. So they were one of the first families that I bonded.
Oh, okay. I want to talk about 2020. There was some, or actually before I do that, Your Honor, at this time, pending defense objections, the state moves to admit State's Exhibit 6. There are medical records with a business record affidavit that has been filed pre-trial. And there are also medical records for patient Arabella Robbins.
We have no objections, Your Honor, as long as, I guess, when they are tenured, there's a way of making sure that these all stay together. I think we just kind of opened this up a few minutes ago, so as long as we can keep them together and ordered, because otherwise it's a mess. But yeah, we have no objections to the medical records in general.
All right, then state's exhibit number 6 is admitted without objection. Counsel, do you all need another rubber band?
Well, I'm going to be displaying them, Judge, so maybe after defense is finished. So just, well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and show them to you, just so you can be familiarized with them. I'm showing you what is North Exhibit 6, which has been admitted into evidence. Do you recognize these
Yeah.
documents?
That's what our medical records look like when you print them out.
Okay, now, of course, we're not gonna go through every page, but I think it's pretty much safe to say that it's the medical records from your practice, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so these records I see are going to be from the moment that she was born, correct? You wanna do-
Looks like it.
So I'm gonna point out particular visits. We're not gonna go through all of them, but of course, the jury could, if we wish to. So I want to direct your attention to the year of 2020. By any chance, do you know how many visits Arabella had that year with you?
I don't recall.
Would it be more than one, or was it several?
Well, most children have at least one, they have their wellness visit. So if she got sick at all that year, then it would probably be more than that. I do believe that was the year they came in with a couple of concerns, so.
Okay, I want to direct your attention to September 15th of 2020. And I'm going to show that in public, you have permission to publish?
Granted.
Okay. There was some testimony elicited earlier in this trial regarding a modification that was done in 2020 on custody. Are you aware of, so do you know who the mom of Arabella Robbins is?
Yes, Miss Reed,
Miss Reed? Do you know her first name?
called the parents by their last names.
Okay, do you know if she is currently, if she's married with Arabella's biological father?
No,
No. Okay. Have you dealt with Arabella's biological father in the past?
I met him the day she was born and
Okay.
the first few years of her life.
Perfect. Do you see him in this courtroom today?
I believe so. It's been years.
Okay. So this is a record from the stack that I have here, and it's dated September 15th of 2020. I just want you to kind of take us through it a little bit. What does MPA sick mean?
So NPA is our practice initials, and sick is the differentiation between a sick visit or wellness visit. It's just how we know to look through our chart system. So it would say NPA well if it was a regular wellness visit, and NPA sick for a sick visit. It's a difference in how we bill.
Okay. At the very top, we see signed by Sarah Stafford. Does this mean that you were the one that approved these notes?
Yeah, it means it's finished.
Got it.
It's not signed, it's not finished.
Okay. And at this point, we have the patient's age, right, which is 6 years old
Yeah.
and 2 months. Okay. And then we have an app note. What does an app note
The
say?
person who scheduled that visit, that's them telling me why they scheduled it.
Got it.
So that had, the person who answered the phone wrote that.
Okay. And then we have a chief complaint, and then we have parental concerns.
That's written by my nurse. And parental concerns means they probably didn't want to talk about it with anyone but me.
Got it. And these are the vitals, correct? Okay. And then at the very bottom of the page, we have the time that the patient walked into the practice, and then the history of the illness.
That time that I walked in to that room, not
Oh,
the time they walked in the practice, sometimes there's a bit of a difference there.
Perfect. Thank you for clarifying. Yes. So Can you read this?
6-year-old female presenting for episodes of abdominal pain. She came home from FOC is a initial for father child, just for time's sake. She came home from father child house with a Happy Meal. She sat and ate the whole thing, but continued to complain of hunger. She said she felt she was not hydrated. She ate a large snack and a full adult dinner. She was complaining of a little pain in her abdomen the whole time. That night she woke up and father child found her in the pantry all through the next day. She was holding her abdomen when eating and complaining of abdominal pain. She has had a normal appetite since with no more complaints of pain. She states that she does not eat lunch at father child's house. She eats breakfast and dinner, sometimes a snack. They make food.
Excuse me, if you could slow down because the court reporter has to take down everything.
Sorry.
No problem.
She eats breakfast and dinner sometimes.
Sorry, I'm just trying to fix this.
Sometimes a snack. They make food that she likes. She says she does not refuse food. This last visit was at the lake. She went swimming. She does not want to discuss what happened when she was away for the weekend. Her energy level has been good. She was much more moody and irritable when she returned to mother child than normal. She was very anxious about safety. At that point, she confessed to mother child and stepdad that she felt like she was alone for the 4 days that she spent with her father. She told them the father child was not ready to be a dad and have children. She also told mother child that she was protecting and monitoring another child down on the dock of a lake house. Since that trip, she's also been very clingy to her stepfather. He needs to tuck her in every night with multiple hugs. She rode her scooter and fell off without her helmet. She scraped her hip. She told mother and child that she has not showered or brushed her teeth. She was very dirty and had some skin irritation that resolved. She told mother and child in spring that she rode in a car with no car seat, no shoes, no socks, and walked into a gas station. Arabella drew some pictures of her time at the lake. She drew a picture of adults drinking beer on a dock with 5 children in the water. She drew father and child up at the house. She also drew a picture of her off by herself. When asked about it being alone, she drew a few more people. When asked if she feels safe at home and at school, she says yes. When asked if she feels safe at the lake house, she says no. She says she's worried she is going to die from corona or from no one watching her. No constitutions.
Okay, so this history, how do you get this information from?
Can you go back to the first page?
Absolutely.
Well, it looks like the person who brought her in was her mother. So it looks like the beginning was probably mostly from mom. And then the end, if I wrote that Arabella said it, at the bottom was from her.
Okay, and then she said she drew some pictures for you. Is that common for her to do?
So sometimes when kids don't want to talk about things, a good way to start a conversation, we'll ask them to draw pictures instead. And then you ask them to tell you what the pictures they're drawing are about. And then it's a good conversation starter. They're afraid to discuss something or embarrassed to discuss something. They'll sort of start by having them draw pictures. And that was actually the first time that I personally had used that tool. I'd seen a child abuse pediatrician use it in the past when I was a resident. And so she just said she didn't want to talk about it. I thought it was something that she was going to be embarrassed about or something like that. But
So was this the first time then that she drew a picture for you?
She sometimes draws happy pictures, but that's the first time I've used it as a diagnostic tool.
Got it. So on the next, at the very bottom, I think we see the diagnosis, right? These concerns that are being brought about her health and her, I guess, supervision, they're being brought by mom?
Yes,
Okay.
she's the one who brought her in to visit, and that's when she was saying that she was skipping meals and things like that.
Okay. And then you wrote inappropriate diet and eating habits.
Like the meal skipping.
Okay. And then what does this mean?
At risk for depressed mood, and she was sort of talking about how she was feeling unsafe. She was feeling like she was going to die. Those felt like she was at risk for being someone who's with depressed mood. And so not that she was depressed, but that I was concerned that she might be depressed.
Okay. I think you send a referral here to
Play therapy,
play therapy. And this is,
the Health and Human Services online, as I made a CPS report.
okay. And I just want to make sure that I get this correctly. Did you file the CPS report based on what mom was telling you or based on what?
Arabella told.
Okay, and so I also see that you wrote child at risk of neglect.
So the conversation we had about her being at a dock and not having adults there and monitoring other children in the water, was kind of an unusual conversation. She'd never mentioned anything like that before, and talking about how all the adults were drinking was a little out of my depth. Neglect is kind of a gray area sometimes. So I actually phoned the director of the Center for Miracles here in San Antonio. He's retired now. His name is Dr. James Lucifer, but he's now retired. And I ran the case by him based on her descriptions and what she discussed with me. And he said that it was.
No, I'm sorry, it's hearsay.
Sustained.
Yes, Ms. Stafford, please keep your testimony to only what you know and not what other people told you.
Okay.
So
well,
you
I
learned?
I made a report based on recommendations that I got from a specialist.
Got it. This is the vaccine. I think was she due for vaccines?
Uh,
Oh, I think you discussed also, right?
oh, she got a flu shot.
Oh, that's what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. I see. And then is that the drawing that she shared with you?
Yes.
So do you remember, did she tell you what this was?
Yes.
Or did you interpret?
She described it to me.
Okay. So are these different, is this all one page or is it several pages scanned together, mixed together?
I honestly don't remember, but I believe it was all on one page.
Okay,
That was the back.
that was the back of the page. And is this the lake house that she was describing?
Yes, and then I believe the wooden slats are the dock.
These?
Yeah.
Okay. Did she tell you where she was on the photo, on the drawing?
It's been a few years, so I don't remember exactly which person she was. I just know that half of those people are the kids and then half of those people are the grown-ups. And that they were split apart.
Okay.
I believe that, well, the house is up there, so those must be the grown-ups and then those must be the kids.
Oh, this is the house.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything in particular that you found significant about that visit?
Before that, she'd never been hesitant to talk about anything.
Yeah.
She's kind of a little chatterbox. So that was the first time that I'd ever seen that side of her. We had a really easygoing relationship. So that's why I'd been concerned. That's why I even used that drawing technique that I hadn't used previously, just because that was unusual for her. I knew her really well, so that was odd. She's always been precocious, so really, really smart. And that was odd. So that visit does, I remember it vividly, even though it was years ago, because it was odd that she said she didn't want to talk about something. So yeah, that was weird.
How would you, I don't know if you may have already answered this, but I just want to go back really quickly and highlight how was her demeanor when you were talking to Arabella, if you remember?
She was sad.
She was sad.
Yeah.
And that played an important role as to why you preferred her to therapy.
Yes.
Okay. So that was for that visit, which was on September the 15th of 2020. I now want to talk about the visit from February the 7th of 2022. Well, it may not even be a visit, but I want to show you.
There's no, right.
Yes, I want to show you the documents and you let us know what this means.
Okay.
Can
So
you,
these encounters are called phone notes. So whenever a parent calls our office, everything is documented. So this is a note. This was taken by my nurse, Crystal, who's been with me the same amount of time that I've been working there. And this is from Arabella's mother to the office.
okay, so could you read the first paragraph?
Sure. Mom called, concerned, child coming back from dad's home sick again. Also stated some concerns with how Arabella was being treated at her dad's. She stated they were at a hotel and her and a 12-year-old boy, dad's girlfriend's son, were sleeping in the same bed. For Arabella, they had been alone before. Mom did ask if anything appropriate happened. Arabella stated no. Arabella also told mom that her dad drinks a lot and will drive. Mom states that Arabella is fearful of her dad and has mentioned several times she does not want to go back with him. Mom stated on several occasions that she'll come home tired and dehydrated. School nurse documented event. Mom thinks that he may be doing illegal drugs as well, but no.
Excuse me, slow
Slow
down.
down, sorry. Mom thinks that he may be doing illegal drugs as well, but no proof. Arabella had asked mom what drugs were. Mom wants your recommendations. Can they do a telemedicine, which is like a phone visit? Or do you prefer they come in person?
So this is the note then that is written down by your LVN, right? Your nurse? Okay. And then we have a CPS report that was made. Who made that report? Do you know?
I, that one was made by my nurse, Crystal,
Okay.
and then she documented that mom made one as well.
Okay. And then 2 days later, we have a new note. What does that say?
Called mom to check on child and family, and she stated that Arabella has been fearful that her dad will go and take her away. She stated several times that she does not want to go back to his house. Mom stated that Arabella told stepdad Jason that he would do bunnies during the day too, where he will signal her to come over and make her sit on his lap and rub up and down. She stated that they are both quiet during this time, and then he will make her go and watch her iPad and he will go on his laptop. Mom stated a police report was made, CPS report, and incident was report to the school. A restraining order was also made. I emailed counselor list, encourage her to call some tomorrow and get her in ASAP.
And this is also a new note from your nurse?
Yes, she just marked a date.
Okay. And then on the 10th of February of 2022, we have a new note and also another call from mom. What does that say?
Mom called to inform us of something else. Arabella reported last night during bath time. Arabella stated she did not feel comfortable being in the bath. Mom asked why. She stated daddy hurt her. Arabella stated her dad rubbed her vagina rough while cleaning her, and she did not like that. Arabella also stated that when he did funnies, it was as long as a Bluey episode. Mom was with lawyer today and still waiting to hear back from CPS. Has not been to school this week.
And then on the 11th, there's also a new update. Can you read that too?
Mom reported child was told her yesterday that she was being touched in the shower. Child described incident to mom, and mom stated she knew exactly what she was talking about. Report was described as vaginal manipulation without penetration. I reported new incident to CPS with case number 759-63898. Spoke with Tatiana, ID 5006. Dad to get served today with papers at 12 noon. Restraining order was signed by judge and was taken to the school.
Okay, so these notes are for those days. They're phone notes. I think the next page, I think, is blank. There's something up there to note. What does that mean?
Said that we had scheduled a visit in person, but I think we canceled that because everything else was happening at home.
Got it. And then we have an appointment, I guess, that was canceled.
Yes,
Okay,
canceled by practice. We canceled it. They didn't cancel.
and we have, what does this mean?
That was canceled by her.
Okay. And then we have another call. This is from February the 14th, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, and this is also your nurse that is documenting this, or it's actually
The different nurse.
Yvonne Gonzalez, okay? And we have a subject being parental concern. Can you read the paragraph?
Mom called wanting to update on Arabella's case. She said that last night Arabella was telling her that she feels her dad is going to kill her because she told her of the things that had happened. Mom feels Arabella is fearing for her life. They have an appointment this afternoon at 3:30 with CPS and Mom's attorney to hear Arabella's side of things. Arabella also has an appointment this Wednesday with a counselor. Mom also wanted to let us know she went to Sher's PD Saturday and updated them on the situation, and they said they will work with CPS to file criminal charges against dad.
And then it says discussed with,
That's me. I called Mom.
oh, you called her.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I spoke with Mom about her appointment. We'll discuss that she does not feel safe with father. Child has fears last night, thinking father was coming to kill her. Appointment with counselor in 2 days. Discussed what PTSD and continue to monitor for need to see psychiatrist. So that basically means I explained to her what PTSD was, what the signs to look out for.
All right, excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
So the court reporter, yes, she can take that all down, but
I
it's
apologize.
being made
When I get
difficult.
nervous, I talk fast.
All right.
Haven't.
All right, state.
so at the very bottom, we have a task. I think these are just internal tasks within the practice, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have another call. Also parental concern on 2/17. What does this say?
Mom called to update us on forensic interview they had yesterday. New information was reported to them. Arabella stated dad would do the funnies more than once and would get her wet and he would get wet. They are setting up a forensic exam and STD testing next. Had a great counseling session yesterday as well. Arabella felt safe and really opened up to her counselor. She will see her again tomorrow. Dad did hire a lawyer as well. Mom also stated that she remembers Jason, stepdad, telling Mom that he noticed some vaginal discharge on Arabella's underwear. Cannot recall if it was white, clear, or yellow. May have been clear, but unsure. Did let her know that some vaginal discharge can be normal at her age, and you would get concerned if it's persistent, foul, or painful.
So at this point, it's pretty clear to conclude that mom tends to report a lot of information about her daughter, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is that, to your knowledge, is that common with throughout her life, throughout Arabella's life?
Sorry, I don't understand
So-
the question.
Yeah, so mom, does she have a tendency throughout the entire life of Arabella of reporting to your office, to your practice, of any update regarding her health?
No, I think this was probably a more of an unusual situation, but we did ask her to keep us updated.
Oh, I see.
And then whenever there's any legal documents, we need to be kept updated about who can ask for like records and things like that. But well, now that I think about it, I guess she does call a lot. Yeah, she kind of does call a lot. Yeah,
So she,
she's probably, no, she's one of our more frequent callers, now that I think about it. We talk a lot.
and has that been all the time or just around this time?
Well, I mean, it definitely, this was definitely more frequently we'd ever spoken to her ever before. These were definitely more extenuating circumstances, but, yeah, no, I mean, this was, we'd never spoken once every day for a week. But
And as the doctor, attending doctor for Arabella, I think you mentioned earlier that you asked her then to keep updating you of what's
Yes.
going on.
we
Okay.
definitely, we wanted to stay abreast of everything that was going on. Like I said, I gave her precautions for things to look out for, psychiatric wise and things like that. If we needed to escalate her care at all.
And I think at this point in the next note, which is dated February 24th, we start seeing some effects on Arabella, at least that you are being briefed on, right?
Yeah.
What does this say?
Mom called to let us know that Arabella had an anxiety attack. It was triggered because it was picture day and she wanted braids. Her mom, dad preferred her hair down. Last picture day, dad made her do a retake. Her mom, she had stomach pains, racing heart, and fast breathing, recommending letting counselor know and can work on breathing relaxation techniques.
Okay. Whenever your nurse practitioner adds these notes, does she consult with you as to what is the proper recommendation or proposal?
You mean specific for this patient or in general?
Well, both.
It depends. My nurse has a lot of leeway. We worked together for 11 years, so a lot of times she knows like what my recommendations would be. So she doesn't always. When it's stuff that's kind of bigger, like a new onset of a psychiatric concerns or things like that, she normally pulls me aside and, hey, someone was calling about this. What do you think about it? And then she'll write her recommendations, but it kind of depends on the situation.
I see. The next day, if we have another call, and this is on March the 14th, according to the note, we also have the subject being parental concern. So what does mom say?
Mom called concerned with child touching herself and rubbing her private on couches and pillows. Mom feels she addressed this when she was younger. For Arabella, dad started touching her when she was 4 years old. She does this at school as well, but in private for Arabella. Mom has talked to her about it, and Arabella stated that she does it when she feels uncomfortable to make herself feel good. Wants to know if this is normal and see if you have any suggestions. We'll address it with counselor today at 4:30. Thanks. And then you can tell at the bottom that this is one of the notes that she actually tasked it to me to deal with, because she put a task on the bottom, and then I called her back. And my note was self-touching is a normal behavior of childhood, should be no punishments, but she should be encouraged to restrict the behavior to home in her bedroom. We can look for alternative coping strategies with her house.
I see. I think this is regarding an inhaler, right?
Medication request.
Got it. This is dated March 29th of 2022. We have a service dog as the subject. What's going on here?
Mom called to let us know child is having a hard time with panic attacks and nightmares. Recommended possibly seeing psych once insurance hits, and requested updated orders for restraining orders since the last one on file was expired.
And this is regarding the legal updates, right? Which you stated that you need to be updated as to what's going on because there was things that were going on the legal side, right?
Right.
Okay. So at this point, we have another call from mom, also dated, or actually this is dated March 31st, parental concern. What do we see here?
Mom called stating that Arabella has been hurting herself. Mom found some marks on her arm, and when she asked her about them, Arabella stated that she had bitten herself. Mom remembers Arabella had spanked herself a while back after doing something she was not supposed to be doing. When Mom asked her why she was doing that to herself, Arabella stated she wishes she would have told them what was going on sooner. Mom feels that punishing.
All right, everyone, we're going to take 5 minutes. Remember,
Thank you, Judge. Okay, Dr. Stafford, I believe you were, let's start at the second line where it says mom.
Mom remembers Arabella had spanked herself a while back after doing something she was not supposed to be doing. When Mom asked her why she was doing that to herself, Arabella stated that she wished she would have told them what was going on sooner. Mom feels that she was punishing herself. Also, she is getting panic attacks at school. Mom stated Arabella feels her dad is going to get her from school and take her to his house and do worse bad things. Mom did notify counselor last night about self-harm. Mom wants to get your thoughts as well. And then that was Crystal. And my note says, I think it is time to bring her into the office to get a few more details, continue with counseling, but depending on her responses in office, she might need more.
So I think it's safe to say that you're requesting a in-person visit then with, because of course you're getting this information from mom,
Is that-
right? Okay, so then that takes us to the next visit, and I think this visit is in person, right?
Yes.
Okay, and this is dated April the 6th of 2022. It does say a sick visit, and I think the chief complaint here is parental concerns. I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom of the page, and can we read on the history of present illness?
7-year-old female presenting for concerns for self-harm. She admits to biting her arm while doing her homework. She says she wanted to punish herself for not outcrying sooner to mother child. Mother child noticed bruising, but she did not break her skin. She also punished herself by spanking her bottom before she spoke out about abuse to mother child. She has been seeing a counselor. They discussed the self-harm. She has not been sleeping well. She's been having nightmares. She is also complaining of bad thoughts in the daytime. She describes being worried that father child would sneak into the house. She had thoughts that he would kill mother child's stepfather and didn't do bad things to her. She had thoughts that father child would steal her and take her to his house and do bad things. She had 2 episodes when the bad thoughts made her have trouble breathing. Episodes appeared to mother child as a panic attack. She has had some pain in her circle, her vaginal area. Mother child noted some discharge in her underwear, no foul odor. She says she hurts down there sometimes. She wears pants daily. She will take some bubble baths. She wears spandex underwear. Arabella expresses concerns that father or child would hear her talking about these things. After discussing that the office was a safe place to talk about anything she wants to talk about, Arabella asked if she could share something else. She states that when father child wanted to relax, he would do this. Mind putting a free hand on mother child's genital area. She states that he would do this multiple times per day when with father or child. When asked how this made her feel, she said it would make her circle hurt.
This is the continuation of the visit, right? And I think we have the birth history, medical history, we have the physical exam. And I think there, you note that she was tearful at times. Um, was her demeanor, was she emotional when she was telling you this?
I wrote that she was tearful, but that her mood seemed appropriate. She appeared to have good insight in what she was talking about, but that she was crying.
Okay. And of course, your diagnosis here talks about nightmares and insomnia due to anxiety and fear. And then I think the plan here was to refer for psychiatric concerns and adjustments, PTSD. Is there anything else that was referred here?
No, just to refer to the psychiatrist for a more clear-cut diagnosis.
Okay. And right around this time, I think you also had referred her over to counseling, right, with Bernstein?
She'd already been seeing a counselor. I don't know which one.
Okay.
But she'd already been seeing a counselor.
Okay. And I think this is
That's the
um
referral.
your referrals. I think this is the next note. I think it's April the 7th of 2022. This is a task, a phone. Oh, this is regarding the investigation, I think, right?
Sorry. It's a phone note from my nurse that looks like we got an email. Yeah, she got an email from Arabella's mother,
Okay,
and she looks like she just copied and pasted the email.
got it. I think,
It was a photo that Arabella drew in a journal.
okay. Is this the first time you learned about Arabella having a journal?
No, it's a common technique for counselors to use.
Now, we're
Psychiatrists.
regarding the counselor, so part of your recommendations then was, of course, to see a counselor based on what she's going through.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was, I think, the first recommendation we made in
The first,
February.
the first recommendation in February of 2022. Okay. And this is well, I don't think this is related, right? This is something pubic hair, but it's not related to the incident, right? Okay. I think this is the last one regarding this. This is for April 27th of 2022. You were the one that called, or was it? Oh, it was your nurse, right?
Yes, my nurse called her, it looks like,
Okay.
it's called closing the loop. Once we make a referral, we want to make sure they actually went to go and see the specialist. And with psych referrals, it's difficult because we don't get notes back because privacy is even more important with psychiatric referrals. So we just call and make sure they got seen.
I see. And you were informed here that she was diagnosed with
PTSD,
PTSD and what else?
panic disorder.
Okay. Every time that you met with Arabella, has it always been with mom?
I believe that her stepfather, well, I mean, before everything, it sometimes was with her biological father. And then since the incident, I believe her stepfather has brought her in as well.
So whenever Mr. Roberts, her biological father, would take her to the doctor,
I'm not sure that he ever came in by himself. Sometimes it was the two of them.
the two of who?
Like, I don't know if Mr. Robbins ever came in by himself. I'd have to check.
Oh, I mean like with Arabella. Did he ever go with Arabella?
It's the two of them?
Yes.
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
I'd have to check. It's always on the top of the notes.
Yeah. Well, February. So you had an opportunity, of course, to see Arabella as her pediatrician. Did you notice a decline in her health right around this time?
Yeah.
What kind of signs did you observe that you think were significant?
It's primarily in her mental health. She had started to have some difficulty in school, socializing. She had a lot of difficulty with sleep.
Do you still see Arabella as your patient?
Yeah.
Okay. At this time, we pass the witness, Judge. Want to show you?
Weaseling. Good evening, Dr. Stafford, I should say. Yeah, Your Honor, you mind if I bring Jordan
No,
over here? Mr. Robbins?
everyone feel free to move about the courtroom.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, there's only one, I think it's called an Elmo in the courtroom, so that the defense is able to use it. They're just switching tables.
Okay, Dr. Stafford, my name's John Floyd. I'm gonna ask you some questions, okay? To begin with, I noticed that you got a little emotional when we took a break. I'm sure you care about your patients, right? And even, just hearing the possibility of these allegations is disturbing to you, especially having been treating this particular patient for, well, since birth, it's one of your first. You are a treating physician, a pediatrician, right? You're not a law enforcement investigator.
No.
Right. And in fact, it looks like a majority of the information that you received throughout this process did come from mom, from Alexandra, correct?
From either Mrs. Reed or from Arabella.
And to be fair, it looks like throughout your notes, there's a couple of entries from Arabella, but most of it, the daily kind of updates and all that, that's all coming from mom.
All the phone notes were from the mother.
all the phone notes, all the emails, those are all coming from mom, right? And it's not your job to investigate that, right?
Yep.
You make your notes and then you make proper referrals out, right? Including there was, your office called CPS on 2 occasions.
I would have to look.
Okay. So let's start back with the thing. No, sorry. I'm gonna back up just a little bit. I think we started with the 8th. Let's see. Guess while I get, yes, yeah. Okay. So this is 9/8/2020. Yeah, this is a week prior to, I guess, where we started with the district attorney's office. Does that make sense to you?
Okay.
Okay. What's going on here? I'll move it up.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, and so this, first of all, let's just start off. Where's this coming from?
Mrs. Reed.
Okay, from mom. And again, this subject is parental concern. And can you read these notes for us?
Mom called concerned with child coming back from dad's house from a long weekend.
Excuse me, slow
Sorry.
down.
Complaining of stomach pains and not eating well while there. Her mom and child stated dad only feed her 1 meal each day and small snacks throughout the day. Can tell child did not brush her teeth all weekend and there was no bath done. Child told mom that she was watching another child out by the deck. While at the cabin this weekend, a lot of people were there that she did and did not know dad was drinking. Child had a rash under her chin and on an elbow. She has sensitive skin. Child also reported dad taking her to the corner store with no shows, I don't know what that means, and no car seat or seatbelt. Oh, it was probably shoes. Weekend before this, child came back with any bites. Her mom, she is concerned with child safety and well-being when at dad's house, wants to know what she should do. Mom also concerned with strong body odor, used adult love deodorant on her, wants to know if it's normal or okay to use at her age.
Okay, so, and this call, who did it come into? Can you tell?
My nurse, Crystal, it's got her name.
And so the note here, is that from you or from Crystal?
My response is in the task.
Okay, and can you read the task to us?
I was talking more about the body odor, but it's not normal at that age. And we should address it in an office visit. Concerns with overall safety should be addressed as soon as possible through legal channels, CPS for concerns of neglect and endangerment. Custody lawyer for emotional concerns. If there's concerns for any current physical, emotional harm, should be brought to the office to discuss treatment. Okay, so this was your initial advice to her when she came to you with the concerns we just went over above, right? Is it, I guess, your typical advice? I know you're a mandatory reporter, correct? And you can tell the jury what that means? That means if there's any concerns for neglect or abuse, I am legally required to report them. Okay. And you would do that in any case where it's even brought up, right? If it's reported to you, you'd make a referral to CPS. Yes, that's why I told her that she could come in and we could talk about it if she wanted to. Okay. Is it also typical for you to, were you advising her to see a custody lawyer? Well, I knew that they were going through one already or had just gone through one. Okay. So you knew that they were in litigation about the child. And was that a concern for you? Well, I mean, if she was concerned about her safety. And what about the fact that the child was involved in custody litigation? Would that be a concern for you as well? I mean, if they were concerned about her safety. What I'm asking you, do you ever see children who are going through stressful situations when the parents are going through a divorce? I mean, divorce can be stressful. Right. And if they're fighting over custody, that could cause stress to the child as well. Sure. So there's a callback needed. And can you explain what that means, the 2? Yeah, so I can't tell, but I don't know if I had that conversation with mom or if Crystal, if I just wrote that note to Crystal, but I think Crystal called mom back with that information. And then she said that she just thought that the body odor might have just been stress. And so she didn't want to come in right away. She decided to schedule a visit for the next week.
Okay, and so I'm clear. Is that note, does that mean to you that the mother feels that this may be related to stress?
The body, or I think she thought the body odor might be related to stress. That's how I took it.
Okay. Um, and it's not smelled the odor since they have been back. And so then you schedule for a follow-up, and that gets us into the, I guess, the next visit that we talked about earlier.
Mhm.
So I get this straight. Um, yes. So there was on 9/15, you testified earlier. I guess that you got another call from mom. And mom was saying that the child was hungry, had eaten a Happy Meal, was not hydrated. There was pain in the abdomen. Um, you didn't verify that with the child, right? That was just something that came in from mom.
If it was just on a phone note, then I didn't verify with the child.
And in fact, back in September of 2020, where's the referral to that? September 15th, 2020, you testified previously that you referred the child out for therapy. What was your reason to refer her out for therapy at that time?
I think that, can you scroll up to the,
Sorry.
no, I'm sorry, where the meat of the note is?
Oh, this one?
On the same page, I guess.
Oh, let me get to the previous page. That helps.
She was talking about how she thought she was gonna die. So I referred her to therapy because it's really not normal for a child that age to think she's gonna die.
Right, right. Yes.
That's when we were concerned she was starting to get depressed.
She was starting to get depressed. And again, at that time, it's your understanding from mom, kind of mom's side of the story. You're not talking to dad during this time, right?
He was not there for that visit.
Yeah.
No, but that Arabella was the one who told me she thought she was gonna die.
Right. And on these visits, it looked like to me that in all these visits, mom would have been in the room with Arabella, correct?
I cannot recall for sure. Sometimes when we have these conversations, we cannot.
So I need to just back up just a little bit because there was a discussion. I just, so I'm going to back up to this date. This is July 2nd, 2020. So this is prior to your referral out by 2 months. Okay. I believe. Oh, you referred her out on this day. Is that correct? Let me see.
That's her wellness visit.
So I want to ask you about her, I guess, her vitals here. Can you see those?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us what they mean? We see the weight, the height, the BMI.
Sure. She's tall. She's healthy.
And the percentiles, what do those mean?
Well, the weight's in the 86th percentile, but because her height's in the 94th percentile, it means her body mass index is perfect.
Right.
And her blood pressure is excellent.
Okay. So nothing that would have indicated to you at this time that she was being malnourished?
No.
That she was being neglected based on these vitals?
No, she's not malnourished.
Okay.
But I mean, really, if you're looking for that, you look more at the growth curve than the just standard numbers.
And that's in the medical records as well, right? There's a
I
growth.
don't know if they print out for you guys, but there is a growth curve, and I don't remember ever seeing it look bad.
So she always, throughout her treatment with you, she seemed to stay in the Normal range.
I'd have to go back and check the actual growth chart.
Nothing that ever throughout your treatment where you thought that she was,
I didn't think she was being malnourished.
okay. Okay, this is that same day, just kind of the back of the record. Review of systems. What's going on during that part? Are you talking to Arabella during that time?
At her age, she was 6, is that right? At this visit? It'll say at the top.
Yeah, yeah. She was actually 8 years and oh no, she's 8 years when these are printed out.
Yeah, if you scroll to
So,
the
yeah.
top of the note, it'll say.
Excuse me. So, guys, you have to stop talking over each other. Court reporter can only take down one person at a time.
Let me just back up here. This will be easier. So yeah, she was 6 years old at the time,
I'm gonna talk to both of them.
both mom and Arabella. And so what do we hear? School. She's struggling with reading.
Yes,
Okay. Elimination, that would just mean she's going to the bathroom normally.
yes,
Sleep, she's struggling with falling asleep.
yes.
And can you read what's the behavior issue here?
So it's not, stop repeating herself after getting in trouble with her dad.
Okay. You don't know what kind of trouble that was.
It doesn't say.
I wanted to just point out this note here. How do you assemble these notes? Do you have a software that goes through options that you can tick, or are you writing these in by hand and they're being transcribed?
No, that's an ICD-10 code, so it's actually a diagnostic code that is like a click button.
Okay, and so again, we see that her body mass is normal, right? And what does this mean?
That I thought that maybe some of the crime spells might be related to the actual divorce, and that's, I think, when I sent her to play therapy for the first time.
Okay. And do you remember who you sent her to?
When it's a play therapy referral, it's not through our office. We give parents a list and they can pick off of them. You don't actually need a physical through your insurance referral.
Did you ever get any feedback from the play therapist?
They don't send feedback. It's private. It's
Okay. So you're not able to follow up with what happens there.
no, they only contact us if there's a concern to need to escalate care.
Okay. And you never received any kind of contact regarding escalating care.
Not that I recall.
Um, quickly. So I'm going to try to show you. Would this be? That's the weight chart. There you go. So this would have been. Does this follow her from birth?
No, that
Oh, I'm
starts
sorry.
at 2.
Yeah, 2. And it would have gone all the way through until it looks like.
Whenever your records stop, which doesn't look like it's current. It's actually easier to look at the numbers.
Hmm.
You can look at the percentiles.
I'm looking at when the records were printed.
They printed in 22. It's the last date.
Yeah, it looks like that. But anyways, this does indicate that she appeared to be staying within the normal range for all of her for her weight. And
Looks like there was a little bit of a dip somewhere around 6.
Okay,
But.
but that's not unusual for a child her age.
It depends. It's considered a failure to thrive if they drop 2 lines, and she never dropped 2 lines.
Okay. And you've seen that before with other children. It's not anything that would alarm you.
No, not unless it was corroborated by something else that was happening.
Okay. There was also mentioned, Doctor, about a referral out to did you refer her to a psychiatric for the diagnosis of the PTSD?
Yes, after the um visit, I recall in April, we sent her to see a psychiatrist that actually used an actual referral, not like a handout.
Okay. And just so we're clear, because I just jumped ahead, but that would have been after all the allegations about the alleged sexual abuse.
Yes.
And
Well, I mean, really, that was after she came in to see me and was having the nightmares.
she was having the nightmares. And I'm not sure. Do pediatricians, they normally, can you make a diagnosis for PTSD?
We can do minimal psychiatric care. I'll do simple like ADD and depression. PTSD is a much more complicated psychiatric diagnosis. So particularly in her age group, you want to see a pediatric psychiatrist.
Okay. And she got a referral. Do you know how many times she visited with the psychiatrist?
Again, those records are private. They don't fax those to us like an ENT would fax the records. That's all kept there.
But she did get a diagnosis as PTSD pretty quickly.
I don't know. I believe it was within the first few visits.
Yeah, it was within the first few visits. So we've seen lots of notes, emails, phone calls from mom, making, I guess, allegations of neglect and physical abuse and sexual abuse. Independent of those particular, well, let's go back to 2020. I know that she made allegations of neglect, that he was allowing the child to walk, run around barefooted, that he was allowing the child to be in a car without the safety belt on, that there was drinking going on around the child. In that time period, you never diagnosed anything from her physically that corroborated any of that.
I don't recall. I'd have to go back and check.
Okay. And the same thing with it when the allegations of sexual abuse came up, you didn't give her any kind of examination to determine whether sexual abuse had occurred or not.
I'm not trained to provide SANE exams. We send them to the pediatric emergency room for SANE and sexual exam.
Right.
It's very traumatic.
Yes. And I guess as she's growing up and as she's in your care and she's coming in at least yearly, sometimes a lot more, did you, other than just what you had heard from either mom or from a couple of times from Arabella, did you ever see any physical signs that would have led you to believe that there was abuse going on?
Physical signs like what?
Well, I'm assuming you check all the body parts, right, when a child comes in.
Well, I mean, I don't do an intravaginal exam.
And I'm not asking you that. You do an external though, correct?
Right.
You would check her eyes, her ears, her nose, and breast. The externally, you check the vagina. It's just to make sure everything is normal, right? And you never saw anything in those exams that caused you concerns?
For physical abuse, no.
I'd pass the witness, Your Honor.
State.
Briefly, Judge, just a few questions here. So, Dr. Stafford, defense pointed out some signs of that are displayed from children that are going through parents that are going through a divorce. I think defense said about being stressful in those kinds of cases. Is that what are the signs of if you've dealt with other patients before, what are some common signs of victims that make allegations of sexual abuse?
What are some other signs
Symptoms.
of the abuse?
Your
Or-
Honor, I'm sorry, I'm gonna object. I don't think the doctor's been qualified as an expert in this particular area. I think she testified earlier, just the opposite.
All right.
I think if she knows, she knows, Judge. If
Well-
she sees other patients, if there are any similarities.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, do you, first off, state, what are you expecting the witness to testify to, or what information are you seeking to gain from this witness?
So I think defense was talking about the stress that a child may have whenever they're going through a child custody case or a divorce with their parents. I just want to ask the doctor if she sees any signs similar, but if there's more signs with children that are making allegations of sexual abuse.
All right, so defense, outside the presence of the jury, is going to be, I don't know what she's being offered as an expert in with regards to the testimony. So state, you can ask your questions, and then defense, if you want to take the witness on voir dire, if she's being offered as an expert in a particular field, then I will hear that.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Dr. Stafford, so you've been a doctor for about 11 years.
Yes,
So you've dealt with multiple children in the past, correct?
multiple children. Yes,
Okay. So would it be fair to say that you've dealt with children that have made allegations of sexual abuse in the past?
that was a few children who dealt with sexual abuse.
Okay.
I'll say, I'm so sorry. I didn't hear anything that you said. So if you'll keep your voice up.
I have dealt with a few children who've been victims of sexual abuse.
Okay. And do you see any similarities in signs or symptoms with that kind of population, with those kind of clients or patients?
Yes, there are some similarities.
Okay. And what symptoms do you see in them,
The primary symptoms are behavioral,
such as?
such as they can start to have troubles in school, they can have a lot of trouble with sleep, they can start to act out, they can start to regress in developmental milestones depending on age, and they can start to have psychiatric issues.
What about wanting to die? Is that one of the things that?
Suicidality would be the extreme of the psychiatric issues.
Okay. What about with children that are going through a child custody case? Are they the same symptoms or are they less?
They would be much less extreme.
Like what?
Well, I mean, they can act out and have temper tantrums and things like that. It's very difficult to go through a divorce, but most of the time you don't see anything near as extreme as when you're going through sexual abuse.
Did you find the symptoms that Arabella was going through as extreme?
Arabella's symptoms were extreme.
Okay.
She stopped being able to sleep. She started contemplating death. She could no longer function in a school setting. Her symptoms were extreme. She was diagnosed with PTSD. That doesn't happen in divorce.
Okay. That's the question I wanted to ask, Judge.
All right. So you want to voir dire the witness?
Yes, sir. Yes, Judge.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Dr. Stafford, you testified earlier, your practice is pediatrics, correct?
Pediatric, yes.
Have you had any kind of special training in child sexual abuse?
I did a month working with the Center for Miracles when I was a resident
And when was that?
10 years ago.
Okay. And what were you doing as an intern or
No, it was a second year resident.
second year resident? Okay. Do you have any kind of specialization in child sexual abuse or treatment of child sexual
I
abuse?
do not.
Do you keep up with the literature or the studies
not.
about child sexual abuse? Have you ever published anything about child sexual
I
abuse?
have not.
You testified earlier that you've had a few children who have
Yeah.
made allegations of sexual abuse. What does that mean? 2 or 3?
Are you counting? Depends on what you're counting, I guess.
In your practice, I guess your private practice.
Oh, no, I guess it means what you count as sexual abuse. I've had a number of rape victims. I have a few people who were sexually abused by parents. It depends on what you count as sexual abuse, but I have had a number of children who have been the victims of sexual violence.
And what my question is that number, is it 3 or is it 10 or?
I would not know the number off the top of my head.
Have you ever testified as an expert before in symptoms of child sexual abuse? Would you hold yourself out in the medical community as an expert on symptoms of child sexual abuse?
No.
I cast a witness, Your Honor.
All right, any further questions?
No further questions, Judge.
All right, so defense, you have objections to her testimony?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Oh, you can remain seated.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Bad habit.
Okay.
It's the exercise also, this time of the evening.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor, I would object to her testifying as an expert on and giving any kind of opinion about issues that are outside of her expertise as a pediatrician. She's testified that she is not an expert on the symptoms of child sexual abuse. It would be wholly inappropriate to allow her to testify as such.
All right, State.
Well, Judge, she's been a doctor for 11 years. She's been a pediatrician. She does see patients that have been going through this kind of abuse. I think her observations are important and information for the jury to know. And defense sort of did open the door a little bit by talking about or making a distinction between children that are going through a custody, and now I should be able to make a distinction of children that are going that are making allegations of going through sexual abuse, and how that is they're different. She just knows the doctor because she's dealt with it before. She sees a distinction.
All right, so here's my question. And correct me if I heard the testimony incorrectly, because it's been a little bit hard to hear. But she stated that the last training she had was did she say 10 years ago?
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's 10 years ago. If you're offering her as an expert to child sexual abuse, then the objection will be sustained. And is that what the state is offering her for, as an expert in child sex abuse?
Well, in the alternative, Judge, I don't see if her testimony even raises to an opinion of an expert opinion. I think because it's sort of like a personal knowledge, she sees these patients on a daily basis. I think she can make observations based on what she sees. I don't think I'm making, I don't think that I'm asking her to make an opinion as to whether or not these symptoms are caused by sexual abuse. That's not something that she can make an opinion for, but she can certainly highlight any similarities with other patients that she sees.
Right. So if you're not offering her as an expert in child sexual abuse, then why would this testimony even be relevant? What are you offering it for?
To show that Arabella was going through extreme symptoms and not just stress.
Oh, well, if she wants to, if you're offering her testimony to say that based upon her
Training and experience.
thank you, as a pediatric doctor, that it was her thoughts that Arabella was going through stress, then that testimony will be allowed. But trying to present her as an expert where she's saying this is child sexual abuse, I'm not going to allow it.
And I'm not going to go there. Yes. I'm not trying to say that. I'm trying just to highlight that there are symptoms that are extreme, as she mentioned, more than just stress that she's observed?
If she's going to testify to what she saw specifically with the complainant, and she thought that was extreme, then she can testify to that.
Okay,
But as far as her saying that she's had other patients and this is what they told her and she's seen sexual abuse and therefore sort of tie that to this case, the court is not allowing it. So the only thing she will be able to testify to is, these are the symptoms that I saw in the complainant, and I found those symptoms to be extreme. But she's not able, and I'm not going to allow her to linchpin some other children that she's viewed who she thought were victims of sexual abuse, and therefore this is sexual abuse, because that's going to be up to the jury to determine whether or not this occurred. Any objections, defense?
No, I agree with your ruling, Judge. Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry, I'm still standing there.
No problem. It happens.
Judge, I will also be asking her in 2020, she did see Arabella in 2020. She did find symptoms from Arabella. And then in 2022, she also found symptoms from Arabella. And I want to ask her if there are any new symptoms and whether those were more extreme than the ones from 2020. But it's focused within Arabella.
All right. Specifically to Arabella, but she is not allowed to testify.
And I think in 2020, you refer her to play therapy, right? Because Arabella displayed some symptoms that were concerning for you, correct?
Yes,
Okay. In 2022, you also saw Arabella and you noticed more symptoms, correct?
yeah,
How are those symptoms different than the ones in 2020?
getting more severe.
How so?
Well, she went from just sort of saying that she felt down and saying that she had scary thoughts to actually showing physical symptoms like not being able to sleep, having the panic attacks, and starting to have a decrease in her school performance and socialization at school. She was having difficulty focusing. She couldn't get through a school day. She actually had to be removed from school.
Okay. Did you find those symptoms to be extreme?
I found them to be very alarming.
No further questions, Judge.
Very quickly,
Defense?
Dr. Stafford, the symptoms that were and yes, they're alarming for anyone in your position, correct, to hear these kinds of things. From the records, it appears that most of those symptoms that we're talking about were reports from the mother of the child, correct?
I would disagree. I did get reports from Arabella when she came in to see me.
When, and did you get her school records?
I don't ask for school records.
How did you know that her performance at school was going down?
Her mother told me that.
And in all fairness, I mean, we can all go through these records and spend, a week going through them, but the reality is that there were a couple of appointments that Arabella came in and reported some things, right?
Yes,
All the other contacts that you got, it looks like phone notes, emails with the details of what was going on. All those came from the mother of the child.
yes.
Okay. That's the witness, Your Honor.
State?
Just one question, Judge. Dr. Stafford, did you find any of the information that mom was giving you? Did you find any of that to be unsubstantiated?
Never.
No further questions.
Any other questions?
Just very briefly, lawyers, that's it. It appears to me that when most of these, I guess the number of visits and the number of reports, a majority of them are in 2020, right, when the allegation first came out, which involved the neglect, right? There was a lot of communication from mom during that time period, right?
Yes.
And the same thing for in 2022, there was an uptick in communication with mom during that time period as well.
Right.
I guess during the rest of your treatment with Arabella, it was more routine and normal as far as the contact you got from mom. You mentioned she talked a lot to you, and so I'm wondering, was that something that was throughout her treatment, or did it seem to be really something that highlighted in 2020 when the allegations came out about the neglect?
We still talk a great deal. I'm still very involved in Arabella's kids.
And I'm not asking you about now.
You mean back then?
Yeah, back then.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
What I'm asking you is, did the amount of information you received from the mother of the child, from Alexandra, did it increase during 2020? Did you get a lot more contact from her during 2020 when she made the allegations of abuse or neglect?
I'm not sure that 2020 was any different. I do feel like 2022 was different.
2022, she got contact.
That was the most contact, I feel. I don't feel like 2020 was that different.
Okay.
I mean, it was different for everybody because of COVID.
Yeah.
But I don't really feel like it was that different than otherwise.
And it's fair to say that you stay in contact with Ms. Reed to this day?
Well, Arabella's still my patient.
Yeah, so you still are communicating a lot?
No, I mean, it's leveled out quite a bit.
Okay. So that was kind of my point earlier. So it peaked a little bit in 2020 and then it went way up in 2022.
I mean, those few weeks were pretty significant.
Okay. Thank you. Absolutely.
Just one question, Judge. So is it fair to say that it's leveled out because maybe she's getting the treatment she needs?
Doing very well.
No further questions, Judge.
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness excused?
Yes, from the state.
No, Judge.
Excused?
Yes, Judge.
All right, the rule that's been invoked, you're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone except for attorneys for the state of the defense. Do you understand? All right, you may step down. And state this is your last witness.